Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, it's turning out to be a fantastic Friday on the D Street. We are seeing both the Sensex and the Nifty not just rebound from the 5-month lows that they had hit after yesterday's closing action, but look at the sharp recovery that has taken place. The Sensex is up over 2,000 points. The Nifty has climbed well above 23,900 mark as well. A 550 point of a jump can be seen on the Nifty. It's the Nifty Bank that is also doing very well at this point in time. Back above the 51,000 mark, 800 points higher, 1.5% of an uptick can be seen. But both the Sensex and the Nifty are definitely outperforming all the other indices, 2.5% higher for the benchmark indices alone. All the sectors of the Nifty are up into the green. What is really leading to this sharp rally? It's the IT stocks, 3.4% higher for the 3,341 on your screens right there. A sharp momentum that can be seen. Following this is the PSU Banks, 3% up in trade today. Remember, they have nearly recovered all of the losses that they had made in yesterday's trading session after the Adani Group story had broken, and this was one of the pocket that was really battered black and blue. Real estate stocks over 3% higher. Another pocket that's showing sharp momentum. Infra stocks also higher by nearly 3%. You have FMCG, oil and gas, even the autos and consumer durables. In fact, out of the 19 indices that we track, at least 18 of them are upwards of 1% gains that can be seen. So broad-based rally. Let's look at the Nifty. All the stocks on the Nifty are into the green, a very rare sight after these 5-6 weeks of losses that we have seen. All the stocks on the Nifty are into the green. There is no loss on any of the stock on the Nifty. The sharpest gains are being seen on SBI. Remember, we had pointed this stock out right in the morning edition where brokerage houses had penciled in over 1,000 kind of targets for SBI. Then TCS, ITC, Titan, Ultratech Cement, these are the other top movers. Upwards of 4% gains can be seen on these. The ones which are gaining towards the lowest end are Bajaj Auto, Axis Bank, HDFC and SBI Life. But all the stocks on the Nifty are into the green. The top movers in the F&O space, Info Edge, 6% higher in trade. Godrej Properties, 6% up in trade. Power Finance Corporation, another 6% higher. PSU index is also up, higher by about 2.5% in trade. So it's the oil and gas stocks, the power related stocks, even some of the defense major stocks like HAL, they are also seeing sharp momentum in trade today. The broader markets, the sight is even brighter green. When we look at some stocks which are higher in double digits and gaining ground further, Supriya Life Sciences, 15.5% higher in trade. Praj Industries, about 13% up in trade. You have stocks like Swan Energy, that's up in trade as well. You have Copran, Geojit Financial Services, a 10% circuit on Geojit Financial Services. Then let's look at some of the other stocks. You have Easy Trip Planners, that's about 9% higher. Raymond Limited, 8% up. Sobha, another 8% higher. MRPL, Vijaya Diagnostics, Noman Logistics, Shipping Corporation of India, 7% higher for all of these stocks within the broader markets as well. Let's straight away get on to our discussion with the top guest who's joining right in. We have with us Santosh Meena, Head of Research at Swastika Investmart, now with us to share his views on the markets. Warm welcome to you, Santosh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Tell us, what do you make of this sharp bull run that we are seeing on the D Street after so long? This recovery after the Adani Group story played out yesterday that led to a lot of nervousness on the street. What is assuring investors and the sentiment on the D Street? Could you name 2 to 3 key factors behind the sharp rally we are seeing today?
Yes, actually, first, it is not a good afternoon, it's an excellent afternoon because, yes, after a massive sell-off yesterday, today we are seeing excellent recovery in the market because it is almost 2 months. We haven't seen such kind of day in the market. And generally, we were in a short-term bear market, and generally a bear market ends with a panic. And yesterday we got a panic day thanks to Adani news, and because of this we got a panic, and that was a panic bottom in the market. Now we are seeing a smart recovery in the market, and I think we have made a temporary bottom around this 23,200 level, which is exact 61.8% retracement of the entire rally from the election days low to high of 26,200. So perfect level and perfect day of panic bottom. So I think this rally should extend. So 2 triggers. First is market was oversold towards the outcome of Maharashtra election and Jharkhand election. there is a high probability that NDA will gain majority. And yesterday, market didn't react on exit polls because of the Adani news. Today, it got a chance and it was remained oversold throughout the November series. And we are seeing a very strong short covering rally ahead of the November month expiry. So I think we should see further extension on immediate basis around 24,000 to 24,100 level. We may have resistance of 20-day moving average, but once it will cross 20-day moving average of 24,100, we can expect a further short covering rally towards 24,500. So today's price action suggests that we have made a temporary bottom around 23,200 level, and the market is ready to move higher in coming days.
Okay, market is willing to go higher in the coming days. Then tell us, Santosh, what are you advising all the clients to do, investors at this point in time? So far, of course, investors have remained on the edge, holding on to some of the cash that they had, not knowing whether this is the right time to actually go in, because there was no clarity, there was no direction inside as to whether there will be further correction or will there be further volatility in the markets. Now that this bounce has come in and you do believe that the markets could perhaps extend above 24,000 as well, what is the strategy that you're advising investors?
I would suggest stay with the large cap names, because the major short covering rally will be seen in the large cap names, and major pressure was seen in the large cap names because of the FI selling. If FI selling momentum comes down, and if they will come to buy in the market and there will be any short covering move, then they will outperform. Today we are seeing a strong outperformance in SBI. I believe the banking stocks will continue to outperform. Today Nifty is doing comparatively well because of the outperformance of IT and Reliance. But I believe there is more potential in Bank Nifty because it took exact support at 200-day moving average and it is ready to move higher. So keep focus on SBI, even ICICI, Axis Banks, and in mid cap private sector bank, you should keep focus on Federal Bank, which is already a strong counter and ready to move further higher.
Okay, large cap stocks is where your focus should be. Now let's talk about the Adani Group stocks, Santosh. This has been the talk of the town since yesterday. Most of these stocks hit lower circuits in trade yesterday, 10%, 20% lower. Sharp two-digit lower tickets, lower percentage was seen on most of these stocks. They were battered black and blue after the US indictment of Gautam Adani. Even though the statement from Adani Group came in denying all these allegations, there was just a slight recovery from some of the stocks, and still we did see sharp sell-off yesterday. Today in the beginning we did see just about 3 to 4% of loss in most of the stocks, and now some of the stocks have also come back into the green. Ambuja Cements was the first one to come back into the green. ACC followed next as well. Now also we have a few stocks like Adani Enterprises, Adani Total Gas coming back into the green right there. What are you really looking at when you see this Adani Group story unfold, and what is the strategy that you would be adopting on these Adani stocks?
Yeah, I would suggest to stay away from like Adani Enterprises, Adani Green, Adani Power, Total Gas kind of stock. You should focus on quality Adani names. Like this correction is a good buying opportunity in cement names like ACC and Ambuja Cement, because if you see quarterly earnings, so they perform very well in last quarter, and even Adani Ports is a good buying opportunity. But I would suggest avoid other names. Keep focus on only in these three names: Adani Ports, ACC, and Ambuja Cement.
Okay, got that. So only 3 names out of the entire Adani pack look promising right now, where you can actually keep your focus. Looking for a buy right there, but rest of the stocks still category right now. But do you say worst behind for the Adani Group stocks with respect to the US indictment and the allegations of bribery that were made yesterday that really caused a lot of panic? Do you think the worst, as the markets have reacted the worst in terms of the Adani Group stocks, the way they have reacted? I guess we have lost connection with Santosh. We'll come back again, but let's pull up all the stocks for you to see. Look at how Adani Enterprises has moved in. There has been a lot of choppiness, but it's trying to hold up its neck above the waters. 22.15, 1.5% higher. Let's pull up Adani Ports. That's the second Nifty stock within the Adani Group that you should be looking at. Again, sharp sell-off was seen yesterday. A 2% uptick. That's with stronger volumes. That's coming in higher, 11.37. But the two stocks that still remain deeply in the red are Adani Green and Adani Energy energy solutions, the renewable energy companies that are right in the center of the conversation and the controversy. 7% lower even for Adani Green even today. No respite from the kind of relief rally being seen across the board. Adani Energy also nearly 7% lower. So those are the two stocks that continue to reel under pressure for day 2 as well. But most of the other stocks have actually recovered or are trading with absolute minor losses right now. So we'll come back on that. All right, so we do have Santosh with us. Santosh, my question to you was with respect to the Adani Group. Yet again, you did take the name of 3 stocks that you could look at, whereas avoid on the other stocks. But do you see worst getting behind the Adani Group's companies and stocks with respect to the US indictment and the reaction that we've seen on D Street?
I don't think because there could be more challenges. Like today, we have seen the news from the Kenya orders got rejected. So
Yeah.
such kind of news we may see in coming days. So better to avoid this like infra plays. So focus on direct unrelated stocks like Ambuja and ACC because I think they will have some tough time in coming days. It is difficult to say that worst is over yet.
Difficult to say that worst is over. There could be many developments that you should be keeping a keen eye out on. So don't jump the bandwagon is what Santosh is saying. In case you do want to seek an opportunity of investing, then look at the cement majors within the group or Adani Ports. Those are the limited stocks that you should be really looking at within the entire basket in case you're looking at opportunities to buy into right now. A strong 580 point of a move, 23,931 with us on the Nifty. You did take some of the bank names right there. SBI, ICICI Bank is something that you did mention. I want to understand from you on the IT space now, Santosh. This has been an outperformer. Strong rally, over 3.5% move that can be seen on this one. And of course, from Infosys to TCS to even Wipro, HCL Tech, all of them are really supporting the sentiments. LTI, Mindtree, Emphasis, even Coforge and Persistent, large and mid caps together ruling the roost at this point in time. Within the IT space, where are you putting in your fresh money with confidence?
Yes, this space is likely to continue to do well because there is a tailwind from the US market and there is a margin of safety. So I think you should have some portion of IT stocks in your portfolio. And I believe Emphasis can continue to do well. Yesterday, we have seen a good rally in banking and financial stocks in the US market. And it is a direct play of BFSI segment. And after a correction from the level of 3170, now it is giving a good buying opportunity. So focus on Infosys. We may again see a buying momentum towards 3200 level. So you have better risk reward ratio where you can keep a stop loss of 2740 and when we can see a level of 3200 in coming days.
Right. Okay. Let's look at the broader markets. I did take some of the names right there. I'll repeat some of the names which are actually doing very well and ask you, Santosh, to tell us where exactly would you be looking at with the promise that this rally could continue or one should catch the momentum right here. So you have stocks like Praj Industries up 17%, Supriya Life Sciences 16% higher, Raymond up 16%, Swan Energy, Geojit Financial Services. You have stocks like Ganesh Housing, Easy Trip Planners, Padamji Paper, MRPL, you have Snowman Logistics, Spark and also Sobha Limited from the real estate pack. All of them anywhere between 7 to 18% higher in trade. Anything that resonates with you as a name where you would want to see continued momentum?
Yeah, I believe the Praj industry, which is in a consolidation phase for a long time, between it was trading between 660 to
Yeah.
800 level. Now today we are seeing a strong price action, so it is ready to break out in the ups on the upside. So once it will cross 820 level, we can see the level of 1,000 rupees in coming days. So focus on this stock despite a strong run up in today's trading session.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in. Let's further dive right in to see how the Nifty next 50 names are performing. So you have Info Edge that's up 6.5%, PFC, REC, then some of the banking counters right there. Stocks like DLF, HAL is up 3% higher in trade. You have BHEL, BEL, all of them upwards and onwards. Let's look at this space also. Santosh, how would you look at some of these heavyweight defense counters now? Stocks like HAL, BEL, BEML as well. Does anything look promising where you believe that now things start to look positive here?
Yes, we have seen a strong correction in defense space, and I believe some of the counter is giving good buying opportunity after a decent correction. One of the is BEL. I think it will be one of the counter in the defense space which can hit new focus on BEL. Even HAL can be added into your portfolio, but my preferred bet will remain BEL. Currently, it is trading around 280 rupees level, so you have a stop loss of 265, and I'm expecting a target of 330 in next 1 to 2 months.
Okay, got that. So that's the view that is coming in as far as these defense major stocks are concerned. But let's look at the interesting names now. Brokerage houses spaces, NBFC space. Remember, this was a very, very interesting space to watch. A lot of re-rating happening here in the last couple of months for some of these stocks already. Geojit is up 10%. You have Pesalo Digital, which is 7% higher. Muthoot Capital, that's up 4%. Credit Access Grameen up 4%. Motilal Oswal Financial Services 3% higher. Bajaj Finance, Edelweiss Finance, Canfin Homes, Hoodco, Sundaram Finance, Aditya Birla Capital, all of them sharply higher in momentum coming back across the financials, and within that NBFCs and brokerage houses spaces as well. Does this space interest you even now despite the kind of run up that has already taken place, Santosh, or do you actually feel enough is enough? We have actually seen a lot of run up now.
Yeah, this space is one of the outperforming space, and despite some regulatory challenges, it is continued to outperform. I
Yeah.
believe focus on some broking house which are in the wealth management space, so like Motilal Oswal, which can do well from here as well. So it is consolidating despite we have seen correction in the market. So on the downside, 850 is acting as a strong support level. So you can accumulate this counter at current level where 850 should be a stop loss. And on the upside, 1020, 1025 is one of the resistance area. Once it will cross 1025 level, then we can expect further upside in the counter towards 1200 kind of level in coming days.
Okay, got that. So that's the view that's coming in on the brokerage houses spaces. Let's also discuss outperforming too. What is the kind of view that you hold within the real estate pack? Again, there are several outperformers within this space. Stocks like Macrotech developers, right from the time they have listed, time and again they have proven, and continuously the stock prices have risen higher. There are newer others which have started to perform. Godrej Properties, Sobha, which have started to contribute. DLF has come back after a long haul as well in the momentum zone. What looks good to you within the real estate story?
Yes, actually, this space is showing a strong bullish momentum from lower levels. It is showing a reversal kind of signal, and maybe it may do well in coming days. And there is probability that there is some pressure on RBI to cut interest rate in coming days. So that can be another positive trigger for these stocks. So Godrej Property is looking interesting because from a level of 2550, it is showing a strong rebound. On immediate basis, there is some kind of resistance around 2900 levels, but I believe it will cross this level and it may head towards 3200 to 3300 kind of level. So Godrej Properties and even DLF can do well in coming days. So, but my preferred bet will remain Godrej Property.
Okay, got that. Godrej Properties looks good right now. I'll come to the PSU space now. That's looking very interesting too, Santosh. 2.3% higher in trade. You have the power financiers which are up, both PFC, REC. You also have the oil and gas stocks that are performing. Erstwhile favorites of the power space, Power Grid, NTPC, Coal India are all coming back in shape as well. Within this entire PSU space, what will you pick and choose?
Yes, there are multiple stocks which are giving a good buying opportunity because yesterday's panic in PFC REC is a good buying opportunity because there is still room for further rally in coming days. This because valuations are still comfortable and technical structures are good. So I believe PFC and REC can do well. Apart from PFC and REC, Power Grid is also showing signs of strain on technical charts. So you can add Power Grid at current level, and I think it can head towards all-time high of 360, 365 kind of level. So PFC, REC, Power Grid, and I believe you should focus on metal stocks, especially National Aluminium, which is already at all-time high. But I think that this can continue to outperform because you can see there is a positive development on the metal side, especially for the aluminum side. So it can continue to do well. So hold your position, or you can add fresh position at current level, trail your stop loss, which is around 240 level on the upside. 280 looks an probable target in next 15 days.
Okay, understood that too. Right, Santosh, it's 3:21, the right time for us to understand if there is any BTST, STBT trade that investors can actually look at for Monday's trade. What would you advise?
Yes, one of the large cap stock which is showing bottoming out signal after a strong correction is Titan Industry. I believe after a strong correction, it is creating a strong base at 3130 level. And on the technical charts, there is strong bullish divergence on RSI on MACD. So it can see a short covering rally towards 3410 level in next 1 to 2 days. So you can buy with a stop loss of 30 to 50, where my target will be 34.25.
Okay, got that. So that's the view on the trades that you could be taking for Monday. Apart from this, one other major large cap stock that one I wanted to take a view on is Reliance Industries, up 3%. It's also a key contributor to the gains today. But all across this year so far, despite all the changes, bonus split happening, major things happening for Reliance Industries, it was sitting on a net zero return. How are you looking at Reliance Industries at the current levels of 1262 odd levels? Do you think this is the time when the bottom has been made and now reversal trends could be seen?
Yes, actually, if you look at the delivery-based data and combined with the FI selling, so one of the major counter where FI sold aggressively, and after a decent correction, it is trading at 61.8% retracement of entire rally from the October lows to the high June high. So there is a sign of reversal in this counter. So there is good buying opportunity. Risk reward is highly favorable. You can keep a stop loss of yesterday's low, which is around 1215. And on the upside, we can expect a short covering rally of around 1380 levels in next 1 month, 115 to days to 1 month. So you can buy at current level. Immediate target will remain 1300.
Immediate target will remain 1300. Okay, keep an eye out on Reliance Industries on that front as well. Let's start looking at the market. 7 minutes to go before we shut shop for the day, and it's panned out to be a great afternoon. Even though we are seeing some, pullback happening from that all-time high intraday high that we have seen, 23,889. We've slipped marginally below that 23,900 mark, but no complaints with the kind of run-up that we have seen in the F&O space. Also, Santosh, today there are several interesting stocks, including Info Edge. What's happening here? Sudden momentum on the higher side. Do you spot something which is at a trend that should be followed?
Yes, it is also on my radar. So I believe this can do well in expiry week because it is one of the strongest F&O counter, and we have seen a strong Q2 earnings from this company. So after a small correction, it consolidated and now it is again moving higher. And I believe it can head towards its previous peak of 8400 levels. So you can buy even at current levels, and where stop loss should be your 7800. On immediate basis, you can expect a 8300 level target in coming days.
Okay, got that. So that's the view as far as Info Edge is concerned. We've discussed a lot of winning side stocks right there, Santosh. So let's also discuss, is there anything still to be avoided in this current market where you still, despite these bounces, you're not seeing any confidence return and things may lie low for some time. So better to avoid those pockets, better to not really look at those pockets to be in the winning trend.
Yes, as I told you, don't jump and hurry to buy Adani Group stock, especially except ACC and Ambuja and Adani Ports. And apart from Adani Group, I believe banking space will do well, but there are certain pockets, especially related to MFI segment, microfinance segment, which may remain under pressure, especially like banks like Bandhan Bank, IndusInd Bank, because I'm expecting next quarter will be another disaster quarter for MFI segments. So stay away from such banks like Bandhan Bank and IndusInd Bank. You should focus on large private banks like SDFC, ICICI, SBI, and in small private banks you can focus on Federal Bank, but avoid avoid your Bandhan Bank and IndusInd Bank. Even you should avoid RBL Bank.
Okay, got it. Well, Santosh, 3:26. We're just 4 minutes to close. Let's understand then a strategy for the next week to be followed for the market and for the investors right there. The trends that you will look out to play out. What will impact the market trends next week, and what should the strategy be? Of course, we're going to be entering the expiry week as well.
Yes, actually, sorry, I missed your question.
I
There was a
wanted to
noise.
ask you, for the next week, how should investors be prepared? What is the strategy to follow? We are entering the expiry week as well. So, what do you expect for the next week for markets?
Yeah, as I told you that we remain oversold throughout the November series, so I'm expecting a short covering move in coming week. So yes, already we have seen a strong run up in today's trading session itself, but there is still scope if Nifty managed to take out 24,000 level decisively, which is around 20-day moving average. So we can expect another 300, 400, 500 point rally in the week of expiry. So, but focus on large cap and quality names where earnings were good and still there is valuation comfort like Federal Bank, Indian hotels, and some stocks which have corrected recently, like Jubilant Food, Nokri. There were earnings were good, and we have seen some kind of correction, and they may again outperform in coming week.
Okay, got that. Well, thank you so much, Santosh, for being with us in this closing edition of Market Today and having seen this exciting day come to an end right there. Let's hope that this trend stays and builds on from here and the bulls finally return to the street for good now after those 5 weeks of painful trade that we have witnessed. We hope and pray that these things get better and investors get to be on the joyride once again. Thanks a lot, Santosh, for being with us on this show. Let's start wrapping up the trade. 23,870, over 500 points of a gain remain on the Nifty, 2.2% higher. We are near the end day's high point, although just slightly below that point right there. But it's been a smart one-way up move right from the midday trade all the way up to the closing session today. All the sectors on the Nifty are shutting shop with smart gains being seen on IT, on the real estate pack, and also on the banking space as well. In trade, all the sectors they close in the green, barring slight losses on the media stocks. Rest all of the indices are up. Of course, real estate is something we can't forget. The top moving sectoral index 3.3% higher. IT remains 3% up. PSU Banks also nearly 3% higher. The top three sectoral movers today. Top mover on the Nifty, SBI. 4.3% higher, ends above 814 odd levels. Titan Company, smart rebound, a trade that you should be taking for Monday is what Santosh believes. 4% higher for this one. TCS, again 3.5% kind of a build up. Bajaj Finance, ITC, these are the smart moves that we have seen across the board on the markets. All the stocks end in the green, barring just a flattish trade on Bajaj Auto, the only stock that could be probably looking at a flat with a negative bias close. But rest all of the stocks, 49 of them ending into the green right there. PSE index also up by about 2.3% higher. Strong moves across PFC, REC, Oil India, HAL, BHEL, and even Power Grid and Concor right there. FNO Space, Info Edge, one of the outperformers right there, 6% higher for this one. Godrej Properties, Jubilant Foodworks, PFC, these are all the stocks that came back in strong momentum in trade. FNO losers, yes, there were some. Let's look at those. Vodafone Idea, 3% lower at 6.8%, 6.8 levels right now. Let's look at Torrent Pharma, Max Financials, PI Industries, Bajaj Auto, Federal Bank, they're all down in trade. Let's also look at some of the Nifty 500 stocks as to how are they closing in. Yes, the top movers include stocks like Raymond, that's up 16%, Praj Industries 16% higher, Supriya Life Sciences, Swan Energy, Copran and Geojit Financial Services as the top movers. On the lower side, Adani Green Energy. Day 2 in a row and losses of over 8% for this one. Adani Energy Solutions 7% lower in trade. Let's also pull up all the Adani Group stocks to see where the final print was. Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, also Adani Enterprises ends in the green. Let's look at that one. It's a strong move there. 2% higher for Adani Ports also. 1136 on this front too. Let's also look at Adani Wilmar, Adani Total Gas to see how those stocks have also ended in trade today. Adani Wilmar just mildly down, 0.8% lower in trade. Let's also pull up ACC and Ambuja, the other stocks that actually pulled up into the green towards the second half of trading session and ending in the green after that one day's loss. 3% higher for ACC, strong moves, 2089, 62 rupees higher. Ambuja Cements 3.5% higher, almost 499.8, a 15 rupee uptick on this one as well. So that's how the day has shut shop. We're back above 23,900 after that adjustment has taken place. We hope it stays, and we only build on. 24,000 coming in the next week is the big question. We'll get you the answers from the top market experts. So be with us on Business Today Television to prep yourselves better for the next week's trade, as well as to be on the winning side of your investment journey. Many thanks for being with us on this edition.
I also want them to understand what does the after effects of even the charges right now that have happened from New York will have repercussions globally and especially for India. So let me take you through what the legal process likely looks like here on. Now remember, while the Adani Group has consistently said that their charges are baseless, but it's US and Indian companies that allegedly planned the bribery, and I'm talking about millions of US dollars that the charge is that the bribery was planned by the Adani Group. Now the